Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel, and today I am very excited to share with you a fabulous quarterly book subscription that has been sent to me for review from Katie at the Literary Book Club. Indeed, we have the LBC. I am so excited about this subscription every quarter, honestly, but this was a particularly exciting one because we got an Agatha Christie Hercule Poirot book to read. So let me just give you the details about this book subscription and then we will get into this classics box. So like I said, it is a classics box, so we get all kinds of beautiful editions of books that you just want lining your shelves. And if you are trying to build a library, why not start with the classics that you may have already read and loved, or that you just never really got around to, but there's all kinds of cultural references to them all the time, and so you want the excuse to read it and also indulge in some fabulous items that Katie curates to go along with. So we always have our beautiful box, of course. Now I have taken everything out of the box so far. You'll get to see some of the packaging as well. But let me give you the details, like I said. So this box is $74.99 plus $11.95 in shipping. I do have an affiliate link as well as a code for you to sign up for the quarterly box. Usually they sell out well in advance. Every once in a while, if you're on the wait list, she will open up the subscriptions, but she will also open up if she has any extras. Usually if you are already a subscriber, you get first crack at those extras if you didn't happen to pick it up, as well as the limited edition boxes that she does in between the quarterly boxes. But like I said, my code is mauinoel. That'll save you $5. I will leave all of that information for you in the description box below, of course. So in addition to a gorgeous edition, and of course we have this one. I just love it. Just kind of reminds me of a beautiful library with gilded edged pages. This is a Chiltern edition. I would say maybe half of the books that we have gotten from the Literary Book Club over the years have been Chiltern editions, so I have quite a lovely collection. I just love, not only do they have those nice gold edges, they have thick glossy pages, usually a ribbon bookmarker as well. I have used some of the metal bookmarkers so that I could mark the pages, because this is one of those book subscriptions, which I love, where there are actual page numbers associated with some of the gifts, but there's also gifts that you open at the very beginning and at the very end. So it's really a full experience. So now, once you take everything out of the box, right, at the very bottom, and I love that she has done this, at the very bottom there is a card, and it says no spoilers here. It just lists the gifts that you would need to make sure they're in your box and that nothing is missing. Then, if you are all done reading, then you can flip to the other side and read about what's inside. Now, I, of course, have that out while we're doing our unboxing just to keep me honest, keep me on track. At the top of the box, though, we will get this beautiful wax seal with this lovely Jane Austen quote, "I shall be miserable if I have not an excellent library." So inside we get a little note card. This is the first thing that you do open. It is, of course, The Mysterious Affair at Styles, which was, I believe, the first Hercule Poirot book. So let's just read this on the back, and then we will get into the rest of the box. So, The Mysterious Affair at Styles, written by Agatha Christie in 1920, is the first of her novels to feature Hercule Poirot. The small, fastidious Belgian is one of her most iconic characters and among the most famous fictional detectives in the world. The story features many of the elements that have become icons of the golden age of detective fiction, largely due to Christie's influence. It is set in a large, isolated country manor. There are half a dozen suspects, most of whom are hiding facts about themselves. I hope you enjoy this book as much as I did. So I love that she has this spoiler-free card now at the bottom. And then there's always a swag bag. So we always have the beautiful, I think these are like gardenias, right? So everything is kind of matching. So let's see what we got in our swag bag. Usually we have a nice big bookmark. So this is our quote this time. "If the fact will not fit the theory, let the theory go," right? I feel like that's almost one of those, like, when you hear hooves, think horses, not zebras. Beautiful, really, really gorgeous. Goes with the green cover, which has that like raised texture. We also got a lovely little book plate, so that yes, it is your library, not others. I feel like I'm very much matching the vibe of this box. That was not intentional. And then we also got a sticker. "You gave too much rein to your imagination. Imagination is a good servant and a bad master." Yes. right? Don't get crazy with your ideas. I love that, with your suppositions. And then at the very bottom, even below, I think the spoiler card, no, usually this is on top of the spoiler card, we have our beautiful 8x10 print from Katie with her script on it. And it says, oh, I just realized that mine is a little bit dented, even though it does come in a nice sleeve, but mine is a little bit creased more than usual. It says, instinct is a marvelous thing. It can neither be explained nor ignored. I love that we got 3 different quotes this time instead of just repeats. So we got too much rain to the imagination, if the fact will not fit the theory, and then this one, instinct is a marvelous thing. It can neither be explained nor ignored. And that is so true. Trust your instincts, right? Especially when you are going to be a detective. So, swag bag, which included several things inside of it, the gorgeous book, of course, the note card, the 8x10 art print, and then we have 5 additional gifts. We have open while you read, and it's usually a drink or a snack. Yes, and then wash your hands because you don't want to ruin your nice pages. Then we have 3 gifts that go along with page numbers. Page 47, very hot on its heels, page 58, and page 144. And then finally, what's usually my favorite is the open when the last page has been read gift. Usually there's a sticker. Oh, that's the while you read gift. You can tell I haven't read everything. Where is my little box? That's what it was. Open when the last page has been read. So let's go ahead and get into our box. So this was the first one, While You Read, and it just has the Literary Book Club on it. And this was actually resting right on top of everything. Beautiful, nice little bag. You could definitely reuse this. Things didn't come too crushed. There's usually a lot of shred inside. I haven't actually opened this up. Oh my goodness. Well, it's a little bit flattened, but I think everything will be okay. It's from Pop Daddy Popcorn. It is some butter popcorn made in Michigan. Love that. It's a little flattened, but I feel like maybe it's just a nice thin layer of my popcorn that hopefully didn't get too crushed, but I'll still hoover it down anyway. So artisan butter popcorn, because this is going to be a fun read indeed. Then our first one that is associated with a page number is page 47. And of course you can see how everything is going together with the greens. I love the greens. I must have just known from looking at the cover so much. All right, let me find page 47. And like I said, I have used my metal tabs. These work really well on the thicker pages of the children editions. And you'll have to forgive my accents. One of the cool things about this is it was one of her first mysteries, and I think it was actually first published as a serial novel, and so there were all kinds of little details, like there's a scrap of paper, and they show you that illustration. They also show you, of course, the map of the room in which something nefarious happens. So let me see what this would be about. Okay, so we have our narrator, and then of course Poirot has been called in to help figure out if something has happened. It says, on the chest of drawers there was a tray with a spirit lamp and a small saucepan on it. A small quantity of dark fluid remained in the saucepan, and an empty cup and saucer that had been drunk out of stood near it. I wondered how I could have been so unobservant as to overlook this. Here was a clue worth having. Poirot delicately dipped his finger into liquid and tasted it gingerly. He made a grimace. Cocoa, with, I think, rum in it. I can't quite do the Belgian accent, and I probably should be reading the narrator's voice in an English accent, but I'll try to spare you of that. And so indeed, the nefarious liquid is cocoa. We got some Rocky Mountain hot cocoa, and as I was reading, I didn't have the box with me, and as soon as this arrived on the scene, I was like, oh, we're definitely getting some hot cocoa. So some hot cocoa, some butter popcorn. I'm loving it. All right, our next one is on page 58. So like I said, very soon it was like, you know, you made your hot cocoa and 10 pages later you have another gift to open up. So this is what this looked like. And I just love that she takes the time to really make all of the packaging match and really go together. So let me see. This is another one that I honestly haven't opened up because I do like to preserve the packaging so that you guys can kind of get the experience along with me. And I do like to read the books in book subscriptions like this where there are actual inspirations. It's not just a nice collection and curation. There are book subscriptions out there that just give you a nice collection, things that you would like to have when you're reading, and maybe it kind of goes with the theme, but it doesn't necessarily have a passage that relates. I like those too, but I don't always feel like I have to read the book to fully experience the box. In this case, I feel like it really helps. So just know that sometimes you do see my reviews of this box a little bit later than other channels that are also sent the box as ambassadors. And sometimes either they're really fast readers or they're not necessarily reading the book ahead of time. They could also just be fast readers. I usually don't watch those unboxings, even if they post before me, because I want to not have anything spoiled for me. All right, let's see. Page 58. What is this? So he's speaking to, I believe it's one of the maids, because they're looking at the scene. Then, between 7:15 and 8 o'clock, the cocoa was standing on the table in the left wing. Yes, sir. Annie had been growing redder and redder in the face, and now she blurted out unexpectedly, "And if there was salt in it, sir, it wasn't me. I never took the salt near it." "What makes you think there was salt in it?" asked Poirot. "Seen it on a tray, sir." "You saw some salt on the tray?" "Yes, coarse salt it looked. I never noticed it when I took the tray up, but when I came to take it into the mistress's room, I saw it at once, and I suppose I ought to have taken it down again and asked cook to make some fresh, but I was in a hurry because Dorcas was out, and I thought maybe the cocoa itself was all right, and the salt had only gone on the tray, so I dusted it off with my apron and took it in." I had the utmost difficulty in controlling my excitement. Unknown to herself, Annie had provided us with an important piece of evidence. How she would have gaped if she had realized that her coarse kitchen salt was strychnine, one of the most deadly poisons known to mankind. I marveled at Poirot's calm. His self-control was astonishing. I awaited his next question with impatience, but it disappointed me. "When you went into Mrs. Inglethorpe's room, was the door leading into Miss Cynthia's room bolted?" So, this is where we find out there was strychnine, but the maid just thought it was salt on the tray, so someone has put something into the cocoa. Into the cocoa, my friends. So, we did not get table salt. We did not get strychnine, thank goodness. We got a bath salt soak, which makes sense. So I like that interpretation. It is a Meyer lemon salt soak, 4 ounces from the Three Sisters Apothecary. And I do love when Katie uses small businesses. I think that's always really nice, but this has kind of that a little bit more elevated, elegant feel to it. I also really like that she uses other brands and doesn't necessarily white label or make a lot of things in-house aside from the gorgeous quote card. All right, we have one more that is associated with a page. It is 144. I have to like kind of try to do that accent so I don't go back and forth. My poor maid was sounding blending in with Poirot there. Let's see. On page 144, let me just give you a heads up. We have that "You gave too much rein to your imagination" print that is in foil on this bag, which, I mean, I just think it's really nice that she spends so much time, and you know, part of the cost of the box is the experience and having these packaging items made. It's not necessarily, I will say, it's not necessarily like a bag that I would probably reuse, just because it does come a little bit crumpled, and unfortunately whatever is in here I think is what made a little bit of a crease in my poor little 8x10, but I do just like the experience of having things. And, you know, sometimes it takes you a little while to read through something. Oh goodness, there is a plastic wrap on this. So let me go ahead and see if I can get that open. So you get a little bit more anticipation. And wow, it is kind of amazing that this is going to go along with the passage, but it also really goes with the color scheme of the whole box. So we get more of that dark green. It kind of reminds me of like a pool table or a library in general, like one of those old ones that might have like, I don't know, would that be weird to have a billiards table? I don't know. It reminds me of like old men's clubs where it's like dark red leather and green, and yeah. All right, let's see. So I just gave you a little hint at what that might be. Okay, so on page 144, this is still the narrator. It says, "And then suddenly a dreadful possibility flashed through my mind. I hoped and prayed it would not occur to John also." I glanced sideways at him. He was frowning perplexedly, and I drew a deep breath of relief, for the terrible thought that had flashed across my mind was this, that Dr. Bauerstein might have had an accomplice. Yet surely it could not be. Surely no woman as beautiful as Mary Cavendish could be a murderess. yet beautiful women had been known to poison. And suddenly I remembered that first conversation at tea on the day of my arrival, and the gleam in her eyes as she had said that poison was a woman's weapon. How agitated she had been on that fateful Tuesday evening. Had Mrs. Inglethorpe discovered something between her and Bowerstein and threatened to tell her husband? Was it to stop that denunciation that the crime had been committed? Oh goodness, my goodness. So he's a little bit worried because he does find this woman very, not provocative, but just beautiful. And even though she's married, he doesn't want her to be guilty of murdering someone. So we got a book, and this subscription is famous for giving us more books within it, either to read, maybe something by the same author, as was the case with like Robert Louis Stevenson, or a cookbook that goes along. I think we got like a Jane Austen cookbook, or maybe that was with a Little Women edition, but we get a lot of books that go along with to continue your experience. This time we got The League of Lady Poisoners, Illustrated True Stories of Dangerous Women. So you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, that I am a fan of true crime, and I do love when they do the old-timey true crime. So we do know that women do tend to poison because it's not as brutal as other things, but I think this will be really, really cool. Look how beautiful this book is. Ooh, look at the green. It's kind of giving me like Emerald City vibes. Wow. We've got like, look at the potions on the inside cover. And then let's see, we've got illustrations. So wow, it's very like Haunted Mansion vibes almost too. I'm super into this. Beautiful. It's not all just green and black, but there is a lot of green and black. I'm just trying to show you some of the, wow, these are so fun. This is actually like the kind of book that I think would be really fun to flip through and just read some like short stories. This would be great around Halloween time as well. Love this. So I'm not usually, because I have so little time to read anyway, and I do open several book boxes, I'm always like, oh great, another book that I don't know when I'm going to get around to, and then I feel a little bit guilty about it. This looks really fun, and it's beautiful. The League of Lady Poisoners. It says, welcome. At tonight's dinner party, you'll be joined by distinguished guests from around the world. These unforgettable ladies have helped make femme fatales the sinister tropes they are today, and what brings them all together is their weapon of choice: poison. Poison. This lavishly illustrated book by Lisa Perrin introduces more than 25 infamous women poisoners, exploring the circumstances and skill sets that led them to lives of crime. Learn about popular poisons throughout history and their deadly effects, and explore the common motives that drove these women to commit their dastardly deeds. You may even find yourself rooting for some of them, like Sally Bassett, who helped poison her granddaughters and slavers in Bermuda. Other stories, though, including that of Yia Murano, one of Argentina's most notorious swindlers and serial killers, or the terrifying nurse Jane Toppin, may prove less palatable. So, take a seat at this sumptuous poisoner's banquet and enjoy the impressive spread of roasted mushrooms, delectable pastries, and irresistible cocktails, if you dare. Very Haunted Mansion vibes there. I love it. I'm super into that. So this was such a delightful box. I'm really glad that I sort of saved actually opening the gifts for this video with all of you, and I hope that you all had a great time too. Let me know if you love mysteries. Let me know if you're an Agatha Christie fan. She is one of those people where I know I should read all of these. I like mysteries. I think they're fun. I like classics, and I have really, really enjoyed getting to read some Agatha Christie through various book subscriptions in the last few years. So I'm really hoping that we get more of these from Literary Book Club. I know we can't always. Sometimes we have to do more of the romances or some of the sweeter stories, but I would love this to be like one of the features, like once a year, where we get a mystery or an Agatha Christie. You guys let me know what you think. But just going over, oh, we have When the Last Page Has Been Read. I almost forgot. It came in this little gold box. That would have been very disappointing. Very disappointing. Oh, this is cool. It's a little roller ball. So I wonder, it does say that it is a custom essential royal oil roller. Royal oiler. A little poison. It looks like it says, of course, from Poirot, It is the brain, the little gray cells on which one must rely. Yes. So this is our little roller ball, and it has like a little bowler hat kind of in the background and a little mustache, because I think that's what he's kind of known for. Oh, it did leak a teeny tiny bit even though there was a sticker, but that's why it's nice that they put it into that little baggie. I just wanted to smell what it smells like and see what it is. Ooh, it's like minty, pepperminty. I love that. Also really good to kind of wake you up when you are dozing off, but you only have maybe 30 minutes to an hour to read every night. That would be me. And so usually I do need to not imbibe in warm drinks that make me go to sleep, but rather a little mint under the nose might help me to stay awake and get to that next gift in my read. I hope that you all enjoyed this unboxing. If you did, please leave a comment, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all very, very soon in my next one. I may be taking a break tomorrow from posting. You never know. I might get one up there, or I might wait until the 1st or 2nd day of April. We're already in April. See you then.